Welcome, everyone. Today, I wanted to talk about this whole idea of voting in Cardano and how I think that it could translate into the real world. So, when Shelly releases, we're going to have the option to basically stake or delegate our ADA into a staking pool, which basically means that if you're not running your own staking pool, you don't have the requirements to do so, as far as maybe you don't have the servers or you just haven't applied to become a stake pool. You're going to have to delegate your stake, only if you'd like, to a staking pool. And that will create what I like to refer to as some sort of passive income stream from the Cardano ecosystem. And one of the important things is that in the future, these kind of staking pools are also going to be used for vote delegations. So, for example, say there are proposed changes within the Cardano ecosystem, whether it is a certain direction Cardano decides to go, we're going to have to vote in the system. And this whole idea, Charles Hoskinson brought it up before, of a liquid democracy, meaning that you could be active yourself in the voting process, but if you do not have the expertise, you can always delegate your vote to a third party. And that third party could represent you. So similar to how the system is supposed to run in the United States, when you vote in a presidential election or you vote in smaller elections, you are delegating your vote towards a representative that is supposed to represent your views and your beliefs and your political affiliations. And this is by far no means a political video. I'm not into politics that much, to be honest with you. But I see that the overlap between voting on the blockchain and how current politics are run could be there could be a link somewhere in the future. Meaning that, if you have tuned into the news recently, I know politics is crazy, especially in the United States, and I'm sure various other countries as well. There's a lot of turmoil. But this whole idea of politicians misrepresenting funds, for example, they're leaders of certain departments, and they use those funds for either personal benefits or personal gains, whether that's renting jets or booking first class tickets, all on the taxpayer's dime, of course, which is atrocious because Americans are working hard. Everyone around the world is working hard. Taxes are usurped from everyone, and these taxes are sometimes being used to provide a cushy lifestyle for a lot of the people who are in charge. There's a lot of misappropriation of funds in the government. So, there needs to be some sort of accountability in the future. And if Cardano perfects this idea of liquid democracy, being able to maybe run some of these politicians, I don't know, lock them in some sort of smart contract so every single dollar is accounted for. This is another reason why I'm so into blockchain and why I'm so into Cardano, because this idea of accountability of funds. There's no more sliding money under the table. The things are verified and immutable on the blockchain. So if we vote a politician in charge of XYZ branch of the government, we need to make sure that this dollar goes towards this dollar goes towards this dollar goes towards this. And this could trickle down into every sort of politics level. So think about local politics. I'm not sure of how many of you live in a community or some sort maybe of housing development, or you have to pay some sort of HOA fees, which is like homeowners association fees. And basically this small group of people decide exactly what's going to go wrong, what's going to happen for the entire community. However, there is not a lot of representation because you have to attend meetings at 7 p.m. and, someone's working then. So it's always a small group of people that are speaking for the majority. Rather than, what if we were all on this blockchain? What if we were all in Cardano and our local politics and maybe branches of the government ran on the blockchain through some sort of smart contract or some sort of protocol. So even if we weren't able to be there, or we did not want to actively participate in the voting process or in the decision-making process, we could delegate our vote, or we could delegate our choices to a third party, whichever represented us at that particular moment. And the idea that you could change in between is great, because how many times do we vote politicians in office and you think they have your best interest, and then, a year or 2 years later, you realize that, they're not doing anything that they said, and the decisions that they're making are counterproductive. But you have to wait until the next voting cycle in order to move them out of office. So you have to, send angry letters to congressmen, which are botted, and no one looks at those anyway. But the accountability factor is a serious problem. So this whole idea of liquid democracy in Cardano, and the fact that they're peer reviewing this voting process, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to set a precedence for how voting and how decisions should be made in a manner that empowers everyone that is part of the system. And there are too many people that are not heard. They're not heard. This whole idea of voting for a representative who's a representative who's a representative for a representative. There's so many steps in between. If you want to delegate your stake to someone, or a staking pool, and they make a certain decision, that's on you. You can move, you can withdraw, but that's on you. If you want to be more active, you can be more active. If you want to be more passive, you can be more passive. I enjoy this freedom. I enjoy the immutability of the blockchain. Bring a more accountability to people who like to take advantage of the system once they get to a certain level. Because we all know that, you've probably all voted for someone before locally, and you just want maybe the potholes in the roads to be fixed. But for some reason, they never get fixed. But the thing that needed to be fixed, and the thing that you voted for that particular person to do, it never gets done. This whole idea of accountability. So I'm looking forward to the voting system. I'm looking forward to them perfecting it using game theory to understand exactly how human beings work and what's the most productive way to get a decision made while avoiding mob mentality and providing security and anonymity to the people that constitute the system. Let me know what you think. How do you think Cardano could be used? How do you think Cardano's voting system that's eventually going to be implemented, how do you think this whole idea of this liquid democracy can be used to better the political system, better decision making, and hold people accountable in the future? And one more thing, the previous video that I did about the whale status of Cardano, I also wanted to say that, if you're a fish or you're a minnow, that is fine. There's no worries with that, because what we need to also understand is that Cardano is aiming to also include the developing world, the billions of people that are unbanked. And a lot of those people are making fractions of what you make in a day. There are many people, there are probably billions of people making less than $2 a day. So for them, a small little portion of ADA may go a long way, because currencies are different, lifestyles are different, but we're not excluding anyone from this ecosystem. The video that I made, on second thought, when you look at the buckets, there's no reason why you need to feel bad if you're part of this bucket or you're part of this bucket. There's no reason why. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks again, like always. I look forward to your comments, and until the next video.